Alright guys, welcome back to Umineko. So the reason I haven't been uploading this a lot, or for our channel a lot actually, is because I've been working a lot. So now that that's done, we'll hopefully be recording more and editing more for me. I'm gonna be playing this maybe twice a week. And just so you guys know, I've tried to record this episode like 3 times now, but it kept messing up. So I know the first 2 minutes of dialogue. Alright, so let's just get over with it. Load. Episode, this one? Okay. Alright. I can't wait to play this again. The 4 cousins were enjoying our stories, just shooting the breeze. Anyways, there were both girls and guys here. Plus, we had people over a wide spread of ages, adult, high school, and elementary school. Even if we just talked about our own lives, the other 3 kept listening attentively.
なんかやっと馴染んできたぜ。ジェシカもマリアも6年前からは想像もつかないくらい成長しちまったからよ。正直なところ少しだけ違和感を持ってたんだが、こうして話をしているうちに中身はあの頃から何も変わってないことが分かったぜ。
同じ言葉を返してやるよ。バートラだって6年ぶりだってのに全然変わってねえぜ。図体がいくらでかくなっても中身は相変わらずお子様だってことだな。
Yeah, Battler's pretty weird.
マリアもお子様、マリアもお子様。
マリアだっていつまでもお子様じゃねえぞ。お子様から可愛いお姫様に成長していくんだからな。そうしたらまな板みてえな胸もすぐジェシカ並みになるぞ。そしたら揉ませてくれよ。約束だぞ。
Why does he say that to his fucking cousin?
揉ませる。約束する。
ダメだよマリアちゃん。そんな約束しちゃダメ。
約束したから揉ませる。マリア、約束は守る。絶対守る。
マリア、お前本当に素直ないい子だな。お前と結婚する未来の旦那さんはきっと幸せ者だぜ。
っていい話にすり替えつつ約束を保持してんじゃねえぜ。マリア、その約束はなし。約束取り消し。
やっぱりバトラ君も揃って4人で集まらないといとこが集合した気がしなかったね。この6年はやっぱり寂しかったよ。
そうだな。こういうふざけた話にはならなかったな。でも建設的な話はできてた。将来に対する心構えとか受験とか就職とかよ。
悪うございましたね。俺が来たらおまぬけなドタバタばっかりでよ。
でもマリアは今年のが楽しい。
Okay, I'm just making sure I was recording.
そうだね。僕も同感。今年が一番楽しいよ。
Maria's sincere words probably spoke for everyone's present. George stroked Maria's head and she giggled like a happy little kitten.
失礼いたします。お食事のご用意ができました。
A timid knocking sound and an equally timid voice of a young woman came through the door. Jessica answered brightly.
シャナ、入れよ。バトラは覚えてるだろ。
Jessica stood up from the bed and opened the door. There stood a servant girl who must have been about our age.
ご無沙汰いたしております。バトラ様、6年ぶりでございます。シャノンです。
Trembling a little as she noticed me, she bowed deeply.
ジェシカにも驚かされたが、 シャノンちゃんにも驚かされたぜ。あんたもすっかり美人になったじゃねえのよ。
もったいないお言葉、強烈に存じ。
しかしよ、この島じゃよっぽど食事の栄養価が高いんじゃねえのか。何を食ってどこを鍛えたらそんなにでっかいお胸になるんだか。ジェシカとどっちがでけえかちょいと触って確かめさせてもらうぜ。
With both hands posed and saliva dripping from my mouth, I closed in. For the sake of justice and my personal honor, I'd like to point out that I don't suffer from some strange disease that makes me lymph nodes itch until I scratch the neck, until I scratch my neck open, and which can only be prevented by fondling breasts. This is just Battler Style's method of communication. No. If I slowly close in on her like this, odds are 8 or 9 out of 10 I'll get slapped or clobbered, right? So I can use this Battler Sama original technique to sparkle a gag like that and break the ice. Well, it also means I do really get to touch them on that 1 in 10 chance though, right? I'm not gonna copy his laugh. Yeah. Good enough. Like that ever happened. At that point, my hands were less than a centimeter away from Shannon's boot, but the counter-strike had yet to come. She blushed and lowered her head in embarrassment when she realized what was going on. But she just stood there with both hands politely joined in front of her, not even trying to resist or cover her breasts. Hey, I wasn't planning on this. Please hit me right now, or I'm seriously gonna. Which is why I was glad that Jessica chose that time to drive her elbow into the back of my head.
ジェシカ、ありがとうよ。
なんで私が感謝されんだ。お。
いやいや、すまんぜシャノンちゃん。魅力的な胸に思わずキツか。さすがにあの間合いまで来たら犯罪確ダメだぜ。抵抗しなきゃよ。
ですけどバトラ様は大切なお客様ですし。
お客様でも犯罪は犯罪。女の子の胸はだいたい10センチくらいからが僕識別圏だな。2センチ圏まで侵入してきたらこれはもう領空侵犯だぜ。スクランブル発進で即ビンタを食らわせてやれ。
そんなことできません。私たちは家具ですし。
Of course she didn't want her breast touched, but if a guest so desired, she was prepared to sacrifice herself to suit their wants. A girl like this needs some urgent protection.
今時こんな献身美徳な子がいるとは。軽いめまいすら覚えるぜ。でもダメだ。ダメなんだ。俺がいやらしい顔で迫る。ハッタウス。いやエッチ。そういうお約束じゃないとオチがつかねえんだよ。頼むよ、お願いだよ。俺を引っ叩いてくれよ。
Okay.
こう、バチンバチンと。
お願いは聞けません。家具ですから。でも命令ならお聞きします。それが務めですから。
じゃあ命令させてもらうことにするよ。次からバトラ君が胸に触ろうとしてきたらいいね。
はい。
As you wish. Yeah.
以後そのようにさせていただきます。
Yeah, sometimes the voices don't really work. I mean, it's not that big a deal though. Just wanted to say that.
ご承知おきくださいませ。
Shannon announced this while bowing elegantly to me. Her expression was radiant. I gave her the thumbs up to show her that it was fine.
6年前はお手伝いさんの連れ子が ついでにお手伝いみたいな印象だったんだけど、すっかり一人前の使用人さんだな。今年で何年になるんだ？
はい、おかげさまで10年ほどお使いさせていただいております。
She's Shannon, I guess. Yeah, okay. That's kanji for her name. Now here's another name that's far typical for a Japanese person. Back in the day, I was a kid myself, so I accepted her name without paying much attention to it. Thinking about it now, her name's pretty unusual, even though she's not a member of the Yushirima family. Maybe it's like a servant's professional name or something. If so, that might explain her name so similar. Oh my god. Why her name's so similar to Canon, that kid I met earlier in the Rose Garden. She's a long-term servant who's served here since she was 6 years old. Her appearance had changed so much that I couldn't match her to the person of my memories, but we both knew each other 6 years ago. That shy part of... Wait, she was 6? Oh, no, never mind, sorry. It's just... That shy part of her had always been there, but she did seem to have developed an allure you'd expect of a girl her age. Especially in her breasts, yep.
さっきあった。
弟というわけでは。
The kid we met earlier, Canon, is her little brother. He's not exactly my little brother.
でも私のことを姉と慕ってくれます。何か失礼なことはしませんでしたか？
相変わらずいつも通りだぜ。もうちょっと愛想よくすればいいのによ。もったいないよ。
カノン君がご迷惑をおかけしたようで申し訳ございません。
別に迷惑なんか何も。同じ男としてわかるさ。ありゃ気難しい年頃だ。愛想が悪いのは当たり前だぜ。
マリアもよく言われる。愛想悪いって言われる。
That's not a good thing.
カノンと
Okay.
一緒。マリア様は愛想悪くなんかありません。一緒がよかった。
食事の準備ができたんだっけ？
はい、失礼いたしました。お食事のご用意が整いましたので、皆様をお屋敷へご案内いたします。
Shannon bowed again formally and returned to her duty mode. We realized that if we made her stick around for any more light conversation, it would actually make it harder for her to do her job. We got up off our butts to avoid interfering with her work anymore.
じゃあ、お屋敷に行こうか。みんなもお腹が空いてたところでしょ？
だな。ゴーダさんがいる時の飯は楽しみなんだよ。あの人、どこぞの有名ホテルでシェフをやってたらしくて、かなり料理の腕があるんだぜ。
ほうほう、それ楽しみ。行こうぜマリア。ガツガツ犬みたいに食い散らかすぞ。
犬みたいに食い散らかす。
ダメダメ。バトラ君の言うことはいちいち真に受けちゃダメだよ。全部冗談なんだから。さあ、行こう行こう。
Under Shannon's guidance, we headed towards the mansion. Ooh, is this where stuff might get serious? The family-like dinner? Met once again by the magnificent rose garden, we continued onward. The intimidating mansion of the Urisha head family came into view. It had Ooh, the music stopped. That's not good. It apparently been built shortly after the war, so you could feel the dignity of almost half a century hanging about it. The building was gorgeous on the surface, but old as it was, equipment such as AC and heating were apparently quite frail. According to Jessica, midwinter was especially tough with all the drafts. Haven't these people ever heard of Kotsuku? Oh fuck, I wish I had those in Canada. Those shit seems so comfy. As we entered the hall, an aged servant greeted us. Is that, what's his face? Now him, I remembered. Yeah, Genji, okay. I forgot his name. Who had been working here longer than anyone, filled the role as head servant.
バトラ様、お久しゅうございます。
As our eyes met, he greeted me with a calm, composed voice. His bow wasn't as graceful or refined as Goda's, but despite its simplicity, it communicated his feelings very well.
ケンジさん、本当にお久しぶりっす。お元気そうですね。
おかげさまで健やかに過ごさせていただいております。バトラ様こそご立派になられました。親方様の若き日に少し似てこられましたな。
俺がじい様にってことは、さぞやじい様は若い頃モテたろうな。
ここからはシャノンに代わって私がご案内申し上げます。どうぞこちらへ。
Shannon bowed deeply and watched us leave. After that, we headed towards the dining room under Genji-san's guidance. Genji was just like Kumasawa, stood in stark contrast to us, young people who had grown beyond recognition over the last 6 years. His appearance was exactly the same as in my memories from 6 years ago. It was as though time had stopped since the last time we met. Genji was extremely quiet and a diligent person. He was basically grandfather's close aide and caregiver. And you might even call him grandfather's companion for many years. In fact, it seems he was by grandfather's side even more often than my late grandmother was. According to Jessica, grandfather trusted him more than any of the blood relatives. Is he the great grand? Wasn't that that blonde girl? What's her name? You know, whatever. I forgot the what is it again? Okay, whatever. But I wonder how long he's served. I've never got the details, but I heard something about him being here since the very beginning when this mansion was first constructed. Which would mean that he dedicated half his life to serving here. It's easy to see why he's so trusted. After we passed through a massive hall that extended up into the second story of the mansion with no separating floor, I spotted something that hadn't existed in my memories of 6 years ago. Ooh, new music. Oh, there's the portrait. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, that was the grandmother. It was an awfully big portrait hanging right in front of the stairs that rose to the second floor. Without thinking, I stopped walking, captivated by it. Since I stopped so fast, Maria, who was following behind me, ran into my back.
ああ、悪い。なあ、ジェシカ。あんな絵、前はあったっけ？
I pointed to the big, promptly displayed portrait in the hall. Everyone else stopped too.
ああ、そっか。バトラが来てた頃には、あれはかけられてなかったっけ？いつからだったかな。
確か僕の記憶が正しければ一昨年あたりだったと思うよ。
This is really good music. I like this music quite a bit. You are quite... No, you are correct, sir.
一昨年の4月に親方様がかねてより画家に命じて描かせていたものをあそこに展示なされたのでございます。
あのじい様がね、わざわざ描かせてか。
The portrait suited this Western mansion, and that woman in that elegant dress gave off a sense of refinement. I couldn't have guessed her age, but her sharp eyes and the strong will she seemed to possess made her look youthful. She seemed somehow different from the composed middle-aged woman you often see in famous pictures. If she had a normal black hair, I might have assumed it was a portrait of my long-deceased grandmother in her prime. However, she had beautiful blonde hair and didn't look Japanese at all. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Never mind. I have no idea what the fucking backstory is anymore.
誰だいこのご婦人はよ。
Marie answered that simple question enthusiastically as though proud she knew the answer. Beatrice, that's her name. Yes. Okay. Alright, now I know her name.
ベア、なんだって
ベアトリーチェ、魔女だよ。バトラ君は昔聞かされたことない？
魔女って、この島の
I think I already said it, but the Rokekjima is a small island only 10 kilometers in circumference. However, that's actually pretty massive considering that only the Ushirama family lives here. So, only the harbor and the area around this mansion were set up to be lived in. Beyond that, the island remained as untouched as when it was uninhabited. The vast forest had absolutely no lights, phones, or people passing through. To understand how dangerous that is, you need to forget your common sense as a city dweller. After all, if you happen to fall down a hole in the depths of the forest or sprain your ankle, no one would come to you no matter how much you cried or screamed. Ooh. Then once the sun went down, the forest would be wrapped in complete darkness since there was no streetlights. Since there's no signs, it'd be easy to get lost and confused, losing your sense of direction inside the dark forest. Nowadays, most people see a forest as a peaceful place. But to the people of bygone eras, before the light of civilization drove out the night, forests were as geographically separated from civilians as the sea. There were oceans above the ground. Fishermen who go out into the ocean are putting their lives at risk despite their technical knowledge. In the same way, hunters who go to the forest are hunters who go to the forest are in danger despite having specialized knowledge of their own. If children were to go play in such a dangerous forest, something terrible might happen. Someone's parent must have thought so. Maybe grandmother first said it, or maybe it was grandfather himself. Or perhaps the story has been passed down on this island since ancient times. There's a terrible witch in the forest you must not go in. At some point, this ghost story of Rokenjima was born. The legend of Rokenjima's witch. That's why when we talk about a witch on the island, we're referring to the master of that vast and savage forest. Come to think of it, when I stayed at this mansion as a little kid, during those eerie nights when the wind and the rain poured on the windows, I remember being terrified by a story of the forest witch who roamed around searching for human sacrifices. So, Beatrice, huh? When Aniki mentioned it, I searched my memory and was sure I recalled hearing that name like that when I was little.
なるほどな。しかし、あの魔女伝説の魔女にベアトリーチェなんておしゃれな名前がついてたとは、とんと忘れてたぜ。じいさまめ。孫たちが信じないもんだから、わざわざ絵に描きやがったか？
じいさまの妄想の中の魔女だよ。この絵を掲げた頃から、現実と幻想の区別がつかなくなり始めた。私たちにとっては想像の中の魔女に過ぎないけど、じいさまにとっては彼女はこの島にいる存在。
Wow, interesting.
いる。
Exist.
だから、それを理解することができない私たちにもわかるよう、あの絵を描かせたって言うんだけど。 気持ち悪いったらありゃしないぜ。
お嬢様。
This portrait is precious to the master.
親方様の前でそのようにおっしゃられることがございませんよう固くおね。
分かってるぜ。頼まれても言わねえよ。
Jessica glanced at the portrait with irritated gaze before turning away.
行こうよ。食堂にみんなを待たせてるよ。
Ooh. His music, it's like so intense, it's nice.
お腹すいた。
It gives you the feel of like it's really tense in the air, and I really like that about it. The only portrait on this island was was controlled by the Urashira family. All of the lawless reminder was the domain of the witch Beatrice. You might even call her a true ruler of Rokinjima. I felt a faint revival of that unsettling sense of misfortune, which I'd felt when I learned about, tutelary god's shrine being struck by lightning. And I remember that Kumasawa tried to tell an ominous story about Rokinjima before Jessica stopped her. I don't know what she was planning to tell us about this island, but I do know one thing. It isn't the Yushirima's family that rules Rokinjima. It's the witch Beatrice. That's right. After all, this is the witch's island.
バトラー。遅い。
When I looked around, everybody was already heading towards the dining room. I hurriedly chased after them. We walked up the huge double doors that led in the dining room. Genji-san's knocked.
お子様方をお連れいたしました。失礼いたします。
The doors were opened and we were invited inside. One second. System. Okay. Ooh, wow, that's actually nice. It shows all the characters. Okay. Backlog. No, I just want to see. What's this? Original. Oh my god. English. Okay. Nope. Dining room, which looked exactly like you imagine the rich person's dining room to be like. Had a super long table that was obviously positioned with no purpose other than to make the guests conscious of their rank. Our parents were already sitting in accordance with that ordering.
遅えぞガキども。早く席につけよ。
The old bastard pressed us to sit. The only gaps in the group of people were the spots we were supposed to sit, which only made us feel our tardiness all the more. The seat of the head of the table, called the incipient's chair, was for the most highly ranked servant reserved for grandfather. It was still empty. He probably wanted to show up last for dramatic effect. From the perspective of someone facing the I don't know what this word is. Incipient's chair head on. The seating order went from left to right, with the lower ranking seats progressing in rows of two further away from it. So the left-hand side of the first row closest to Incipient's chair was where Uncle Cross should have sat, since he was the second highest in rank. Looked like he hasn't arrived yet, so that seat was empty. Across from his chair, on the right side of the first row, sat the eldest daughter of the family, Aunt Eva, who was the third highest rank. Left-handed side of was the fourth. Okay, so yeah. There sat my damn dad Rudolph, the third sibling. Across from him, the right side of the second row, sat Aunt Rosa, the fifth. At this point, you might expect their husbands and wives to come next. But nope, the left-handed seat, the third row, rank 6, belonged to Jessica. Okay, so he's 7th. And then I sat next to Jessica. And Maria sat across from me. And finally, next to me on the left-handed side of the 5th row sat Aunt, the 10th highest rank. Opposite was Uncle Hiroyishi. Then next to Aunt Nachi in 6th row of the final seat on the left-hand side is Kiri. Then the sat opposite was empty, even though silverware had been set there and everything. According to the system rank, that spot where Aunt Rosa's husband should be sitting, even though he wasn't supposed to be coming, his place was made up. Okay. Normally, ranking systems of this sort give spouses equal positions as their partners, but the Euromia family system was unique. Maybe it's a remnant. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Remnant of male chauvinism. If you start with the assumption that woman's womb is just something to be borrowed, then the children of the direct descent would come first, directly followed by the grandchildren. In other words, spouses have no blood ties and therefore placed at the end of the line. It's terrible, but by this system, my grandfather would be ranked even lower than me. Oh, my grandmother, if she were still alive. In their youth, they obeyed their father. After they got married, their husband, after aging, their children. There's an old saying, women have no home in any realm. Long ago, when I was still incapable of figuring all this out, I thought it was so great that we could all chat in our little groups, adult siblings with adult siblings. Yeah, and cousins with cousins. However, now that I re-examine the seating order after growing up a bit, it stirs up some very complicated feelings in me. Aunt Natsushi, who was married to the eldest son and was the de facto number 2 in managing this family, sat to my right, which meant that she was 2 steps lower than me in the ranking order. It was hard to imagine what might be going on inside her heart. That's why I made a small apologetic gesture towards her before sitting down.
お久しぶりですね、バトラ君。ずいぶん背が伸びましたね。
食ったり食べたり食事したりしてたらいつの間にかこんな身長に。
さすが男の子ね。身長はいくつくらいあるの
？180かな。つうかおばさん、そこは食べてばっかりじゃねえかって突っ込んでくださいよ。
ああごめんなさいね。
After a short pause, she did laugh with me, but it seems she couldn't quite figure out what she was supposed to be laughing at. This woman is Aunt Natsui. She's the wife of the eldest son in the family, meaning she's my father's older brother's wife. So your aunt. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's simpler if we just call her Jessica's mother. Oh, okay, that's Jessica's mother. It feels bad to say it like this, but while I didn't exactly dislike her, I didn't particularly like her much either. She hardly ever spoke with us kids, and all my memories of her involved her talking to adults about complicated things with a scary look on her face. In fact, we hardly ever exchanged words. I spent a long time trying to figure out how I should approach her. Though my efforts seemed to have ended in a failure, the silverware sat neatly at the table, but the meal itself hadn't been brought out yet. As a general rule, you couldn't start a meal until the person sitting at the head of the table arrived. So as long as grandfather didn't come, it would be put on hold indefinitely. Not even appetizers would arrive. Simply put, the silence in the room was caused by our parents enduring their hunger while they waited for grandfathers to arrive. However, the grandfather of the memories. 1 second, guys. However, the grandfathers of my memories would always show up on time to meals like this. He was the kind of person who would never be late to be so late that it kept everyone waiting, especially after the entire group has arrived.
遅えな、じいさま。俺の記憶じゃ、時間に厳格な人だったと思うんだけどな。
まあ6年前はそうだったかもな。最近はそうでもねえよ。というかもう自分の世界オンリーって感じで会食にも顔を出さねえぜ。さすがに今日くらいは足並みを揃えてくれるって思ってたんだけどな。まあ私は来ない方が気楽で嬉しいけどよ。
ジェシカ。
When her mother scolded her, Jessica stuck her tongue out and looked away. No way around it. Might as well wait until our host arrives. When I glanced at the clock, I saw it was almost 12:20. How fucking late is this supper? Unless it's lunch. Yeah, it must be lunch. Urashima Kinzo, an aged family head of the Urashima head family. So this is the grandpa. This man could be seen in his study. The clock had already passed noon. Yeah, okay. Then it's definitely lunch. Already past noon, but he didn't even attempt to rise from his seat. With his spectacles on, he built up a growing pile of books with elaborate bindings, which he then read intently. You could really say that he was having too much fun to stop. Rather, he filled the room with a sense of impatience, or perhaps a sense of impending danger, as though every second wasted was a tragedy. In his sealed room, a dense dust danced through the air, which was thick with the stench of chemicals that exuded a mix of suspicious odors. Those odors were somehow sweet and heavy. If anyone with a normal nose came in here, the first thing they would do would be to open a window and ventilate this room. Well, if it's so dusty, does he actually, live in there? Or, because if it's dusty, then no one must have been in this room for a while, honestly. The knocking against the study door had begun going for a while. A voice calling father sometimes mingled with the knocks. As Kinzo heaved a deep sigh, he snapped shut the old book in his hands and slammed it on the table. Then he yelled at Cross, who was still knocking at the door.
その音を止めぬか愚か者。叩けば扉は開かれると誰が教えた。そのバカ者は貼り付けにしたぞ。お前もそうされたいのか。
お父さん、年に一度の親族会議の日ではありませんか。皆下に集まっています。どうかおいでください。
Cross called out to his father through the door. Kinzo shut himself up in the study, hating it when nearly anyone, even his family, entered the room. But for that reason, Cross had no choice but to call him from the corridor like this.
私にかがうでない。
Molest me not.
皆とは何か私をここから引きずり出そうとする者どもなのか。ならば殺してしまい。バラバラにして薪にして魔女の炉にくべてしまい。その炉には鍋をかけて苦いおもぎを煮るがいい。黙示録の煮汁はそれでも私をここから連れ出そうとするバカ者どもに飲ませてやれ。残りは酒につけるのだ。ああ、源氏はどこだ。源氏を呼べ。苦害の魔酒を用意させろ。緑の妖精のささやきが届かぬ。ああ、源氏はどこだ。源氏を呼べ。
Jesus Christ, this guy. On the other side of the door, Cross, Nanjo, and Genji kept waiting for the master of the house who stubbornly refused to come out.
すっかり嫌われてしまったようだ。もう私の声では何も届かんよ。
Cross shrugged, as though saying it's no use, and smiled bitterly. From the beginning, he hadn't really expected his father to respond to his calls. However, since it was the duty of the eldest son, he tried as a formality. Okay, makes sense.
金蔵さん、あんたの顔を見に息子や娘や孫たちが来てるんじゃないか。ちょっと顔を見せてやったらどうだね。うるさい、黙れ。私に意見するというか何条。貴様など呼んではおらぬ。私は源氏を呼べと言ったのだ。さあ急げ、すぐに呼べ。時間は常に有限だ。人たちはすでにラッパを構えているぞ。なぜにそれがわからぬか、愚かな羊どもめ。
Kinzo slapped an old, heavy book against the table over and over. That racket clearly expressed his great displeasure. Kinzo put his spectacles down and flew up from his chair. He spread his arms wide as if to sing to a packed opera house, as if appealing to someone, and yelled,
なぜだ。なぜにいつも私には邪魔が入るのか。すべてを捨てよう、すべてを捧げよう。その見返りに私は一つしか求めないというのに。ああ、ベアトリーチェ、お前の微笑みをもう一度見られるならば、私は世界中から美少を奪い取り、すべてをお前に捧げよう。
Fucking crazy, this guy.
おお、イナゴの軍団長たちよ。世界中から美少を刈り取り収穫せ。ああ、すべてが汚らわしい。すべてが煩わしい。なぜこの貴重な一日に私は邪魔を受けねばならぬのか。
That doesn't sound like fucking coughing to me. That sounds like he's dying. Well, I have no idea what he's yelling about. He's probably lost his mind by now. Same.
クラウスさん、実のお父さんにそりゃあんまりじゃないかね。
親父はすでに死んでいる。ここにいるのは親父だったものの幻さ。
Nani? Sorry.
いずれにせよ本人にここを出る意思がない以上どうにもならんね。
金蔵さん。
Choking coughs continued to pour out from the study.
私は下に戻る。ゴーダの自慢のランチをこれ以上無駄に冷ましてしまうことはない。親類たちにとって当家での数少ない楽しみだろうからな。
Oh, sorry. Cross spun around. He looked at his watch, mumbling and acting as though he had wasted time doing something he knew would be in vain.
源氏さん、親父殿がお呼びだ。相手を頼む。
かしこまりました。
南條先生、食事に行きましょう。いつまでもここにいると、この甘い匂いで味覚までおかしくなってしまう。
Without waiting for Nanjo, Cross went downstairs. Genji urged Nanjo to go and eat. Nanjo glanced between the study door and Cross's back as the ladder disappeared down the stairs, and then let out a deep sigh.
すまんが源氏さん、頼みます。
はい、お任せください。
お酒はなるべく与えないように。 あれは常習性が強すぎる。源氏はまだか。何者が源氏を阻んでいるというのか。うわ 源氏はどこだ。源氏。
さあ、ここはお任せください。
Fucking perfect time to stop that music.
すみませんな。
Nanjo bowed slightly and descended the stairs. Genji watched him leave, then knocked on the study door.
親方様、源氏でございます。
源氏か。何故私をこれほどに待たすのか。そこには誰もおるまいな。
はい、私だけでございます。
Kinzo returned to his seat in the study and pressed an old-fashioned switch on the table. After a small delay, the heavy sound of the door unlocking could be heard. Kinzo was convinced that his family wanted to make a mess of his study. Or perhaps someone had once opened the window for some air and ended up scattering things that to him were important research materials, leaving him in a terrible mood. Kinzo had outfitted his room with the formidable lock, preventing anyone from entering without his permission, and thereby sealing himself in a jail of his own making. Genji, whom he trusted the most, was relatively free to enter the room, but even that didn't always hold. If Kinzo was in a bad mood, even Genji wouldn't be able to enter. Anyone else would be limited to holding conversations to the door, unable to even see Kinzo's face. And most of the time, what they could hardly be called a conversation. However, this didn't trouble the rest of the family much. After all, it wasn't worth the effort to disturb his aging family head, who was impossible to please and always stayed shut away, immersed in his research. Taking advantage of the refusal to leave his room, they supported his isolation, putting his care entirely into the hands of the servants.
源氏、いつものやつを頼む。私は忙しい。
はい。
Genji headed to the corner of the study. There's a suspicious-looking bottle boasting venomous colors were on display. They were actually liquor, but considering the shady atmosphere of the room, one might easily suspect them of being some ghastly poison. On the inside the study, a mysterious collection of books gathered by Kinzo had grown into a mountain. They were bizarre, ancient, or banned books, all of them either forbidden, cursed, or sealed. But if you tried to call them old books, Kinzo would fly into a rage and say, "Call them grimoires." Alright. There were also many mysterious objects that presumably held some meaning with regards to black magic, like candles suspiciously melted and molded into strange shapes. The constellation drawn on certain celestial globe contained quite a few shapes that would draw puzzled looks from anyone in the family and with today's night sky. The carelessly strewn about books contain many illustrations of all the religious or mysterious nature, including some depicting demonically grotesque subjects of bizarre diagrams of various magic circles. And above all, a sweet poisonous smell filled the room, profoundly assaulting the eyes and noises of those who entered for the first time. Eventually, it must surely make a person go numb and lose their grip on reality. Inside that study, Genji prepared Kinzo's usual drink with a well-trained hand. No one would even think of drinking such ominous green liquid in that complex, ornate glass, unless someone first told them it was alcohol. He poured a little into the glass, then he placed a cube of sugar in a strangely shaped spoon and poured water from the pitcher over it. Strangely, when the transparent water was poured, the dark green liquid turned cloudy white. It was a strange optical illusion, as though the water had caused a chemical reaction and made the drink become even more unrecognizable as liquor. Then Genji added original flavor Kinzo loved, fine-tuning its taste. There was no recipe. Its success was measured only by Kinzo's mood swings when he drank it, and it only had taken Genji many decades to learn how to do it right. Genji placed the glass on a tray and walked over to Kinzo. By this time, Kinzo was gazing out the window.
どうぞ、親方様。
ああ、すまん。
Kinzo has regained his composure and was now unrecognizable as the shouting, screaming, yelling man from a few moments ago. Looking at this man from behind as he tilted his glass and gazed down the scenery beyond the window, he projected a sense of dignity and intelligence. Allow Kinzo to set his glass down at any time, Genji motionlessly waited behind Kinzo and to his left as though he were living a sideboard. What? Okay. Then, without averting his eyes from the window, Kinzo held out his glass. There was only a mouthful remaining. It was not a gesture intended to set it upon the tray, but a motion to hand the glass over to Genji.
飲め、我が友よ。
もったいないお言葉です。
私とお前の中に儀礼はいらぬ。飲め、友よ。
いただきます。
Genji respectively received the glass and inclined it a little to taste its contents. After that, he gulped it down.
お前が作るのを真似ているのだが、どうにも同じ味が出ぬ。お前が作る方がうまい。
ありがとうございます。親方様のご指導の賜物です。
Kinzo smiled at his loyal subject who refused to put aside rank even when asked to. However, he was not making fun of him. His smile was relaxed as though chuckling at a close friend's old, unshakable habit.
互いに老いたな。年を数えることも忘れてすでに久しい。
今日まで過ごすことをお許しいただけたのは、すべて親方様のおかげでございます。
Kinzo gave a faint smile as if to say he didn't need any flattery.
今日まで本当によく私に仕えてくれた。息子たちは誰もが私を変人呼ばわりした。大勢いた使用人も皆私を恐れてやめていった。お前だけが今でも私に仕えてくれる。
もったいないお言葉です。
私の余命もそう長くはあるまい。息子たちは私の遺産がいつ転がり込んでくるかをうろうろ待つハゲタカばかりだ。クラウスの愚か者は金を湯水のように使い、1枚の金貨を売るのに2枚の金貨を捨てておる。それで金を稼げたなどと妄言を。エヴァは金の亡者だ。あやつは私を鶏か何かだと思っておる。死んだらガラにして出汁まで取る気だ。ルドルフの間抜けは女遊びばかり。ローザはどこの馬の骨ともわからん男の赤ん坊など産みよ。ジェシカは無能で無学だ。ジョージには男としての器がない。バトラーは後宮家の栄誉を自ら捨ておった愚か。マリアなど見るのも汚らわしい。 なぜだ、なぜに後ろ宮の地はこうも無能なのか。私の築き上げた栄光を受け継ぐにふさわしい者はおらんのか。ああ、分かっておるとも。これがベアトリーチェの呪いであることも分かっておる。黄金の魔女め、それが私への復讐のつもりか。憎みたくば憎むがよい。逃げたければ逃げるがよい。逃がさぬ、逃がさぬ、逃がさぬ、逃がさぬわ。お前は私のものだ。常に私の腕の中でなくてはならん。私の生涯の全てなのだ。我が鳥かごにて永遠に私だけにささやき続けるのだ。ベアトリーチェ、なぜに微笑み返してはくれぬ。ベアトリーチェ。
After howling, Kinzo choked once again. Genji then set the tray and glass down and rubbed his master's back. Genji's facial expression did not change. It was always like this.
すまぬ、我が友よ。
When his seemingly deranged fit subsided, Kinzo regained his composure once again. It was like seeing two different people, a wild Kinzo and a composed Kinzo, living together inside one body.
故に私は決心した。このままぼやききった余生を怠慢に過ごすことなどもはや耐えられはせん。この身に最後にとするコインがあるならば、それを悪魔たちのルーレットに託してみたい。魔法の力はいつもかけるリスクで決まる。日本古来の呪術である牛の国参りがそうであろう。7日間儀式を目撃されてはならないというリスクを支払うからこそ魔力が宿る。困難なリスクが生じれば生じるほどに魔力は強く生じるのだ。神話に登場する数々の奇跡は天文学的リスクに奇跡的な低確率を得て成就した驚愕すべき魔力の結晶なのだと言える。モーゼが海を割ったのは神の奇跡ではない。蹂躙の計りに乗せられ軍勢によって航海に追い詰められた絶体絶命のリスクが奇跡の魔力を生んだのだ。同じことが同じ規模で繰り返されようとも再び海が割れること。しかし真に魔力ある者はその奇跡をつかみ取り神秘を成就させるのだ。もしも私にその魔力があるならば私はその奇跡をつかみ取るだろう。生涯を費やした願いを実現できるだろう。
Kinzo looked up at the sky outside the window. He spread his arms as if appealing to someone in the skies.
もし私にその奇跡を手にする資格があったなら、おー、ベアトリーチェ、ベアトリーチェ、お前の愛くるしい笑顔をもう一度だけ見せてくれ。どれほどの月日を経ようともお前の面影が消えることはない。ただお前の美少が見たい。それ、お前から授かったものを全て返そう。あの日からの栄光を全てお前に返そう。富も名誉も黄金もいらぬ。 お前に授かった全てを返そう。私はただお前の美少が見たいだけなのだ。ご賞だ、ベアトリーチェ。
His nonsensical yells became a scream and then a wail. Kinzo slumped to the floor, tearing at it with both his hands. Genji had no choice but to wordly watch over his master's laminations.
Ya, 諸君。当主様は具合が優れられないとのことだ。せっかくこうして1年ぶりの会合に集まってくれた諸君と昼食を共にできないことを非常に残念にしておられた。ゴーダ、ランチを始めてくれ。
かしこまりました。それでは本日の昼食を始めさせていただきます。
南條先生、そんなにお父様のお具合は悪いの？せめて顔くらい見せてくれてもいいわよね。
体調というよりは機嫌ですな。こればかりはつける薬がありませんので。
おいおい、機嫌ってまたかよ。そりゃないぜ。こちとら秋のクソ忙しい時期にスケジュール都合してご機嫌伺いに来てるんだ。それをよ。
よかったじゃないか、ルドルフ。ご機嫌は伺えたんだ。それとも不機嫌な親父殿を私に代わりお前が説得して連れてきてくれるのかね。
まさか。
Rudolph shrugged. Apparently, though, Rudolph was willing to be indignant at how self-centered his father was, he wasn't particularly disappointed to be spared a face-to-face meeting. Yeah, that
夕
would be
食までに
true.
はその機嫌治りそうなの？クラウス兄さん。
そんなことは知らんよ。親父殿に直接聞いてみるといい。もっとも声をかけない方が機嫌の治りは早いと思うがね。
源氏さんだけだよ、じい様の機嫌を直せるのは。情けないぜ。自分の親の機嫌を使用人に直させるんだからよ。
ジェシカ、余計なことは言わなくていい。
She planned for her complaint to be heard only by her cousins, but it had reached even Cross's ears. Scolded Jessica, scrouted and turned away, sulking.
機嫌がうんぬんってことは病状はそんな悪くないんじゃねえの？元気がないってんならともかく、機嫌が悪いってのは少なくとも気はしっかりしてる証拠だぜ。
おじい様は特に強い気力をお持ちだからね。でも体が必ずしもそれに伴えるとは限らないよ。去年からずっと余命3ヶ月って言われ、最初の診断が正しいならおじい様は気力だけで流られてるってことになる。気遣ってあげないといけないよ。
Once started with the family head seat still empty, the man who should be sitting there had already grown old, and brilliant glory which had rebuilt the Hiroshima family in the span of a single lifetime was being forgotten. Even though they were beginning the meal with that seat still empty, no one felt that it was odd anymore. Okay. Whoops, okay. Well, I guess that's the end of this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be uploading this again soon. So, see you next time, I guess. Well, let me just let this load. I guess I should have waited to do my outro. Okay. Yeah, calm down. Alright. System. Save. There we go. Okay, exit. Exit. System. act title, yes. Alright guys, see you next episode. Bye.